Welcome to Catholic Quick Takes. Today, we're going to be talking about sin. At first, sin promises freedom. I can do what I want, whenever I want, however I want. But in the end, it leaves us trapped. Let's explain. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that sin is an offense against God. It's a rejection of His will. And what is His will? His will is to be with us forever in heaven. St. Augustine said, God created us without us, but He won't save us without us. See, sin sets itself against God's love and turns our hearts away from Him. It's a rejection of His will, ultimately a rejection of heaven. It's just like the first sin in Eden. It's disobedience, a revolt against God and us deciding for ourselves what is good and evil. That is making ourselves into our own gods, just like Adam and Eve. And we all know how that turned out. All of humanity was cast out of paradise. There are two types of sin, venial sin and mortal sin. Venial sin are the lesser sins, the less grave sins. These are the sins that wound your relationship with God, but they don't break the relationship. These sins can be forgiven at the beginning of Mass, when we say the penitential act, which is the I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters. At that moment, if you bring to mind those sins, Jesus forgives them and you can receive communion. The problem with the venial sins is that if we don't take care of them, they accumulate over time and they can lead us into mortal sin eventually. The mortal sins, mortal like deadly, are sins that completely break our relationship with God. Three things have to happen for a sin to be mortal. Number one is the sin has to be grave matter, serious, something big. Number two, you have to know that it is a sin and that it's grave. And number three, you don't care and you do it anyway. Those three conditions have to be met for a sin to be mortal. When you break your relationship with God, you are breaking your communion with God. Therefore, you can't receive Him unless you go to confession. One example that always surprises people that is a mortal sin is skipping Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation without a serious reason. So please be aware of that because we need to think about these things before we act as if it's not really a big deal, and it's a really big deal. So what happens to a person that dies in a state of mortal sin? Well, the Catechism warns, if mortal sin is not forgiven, it leads to eternal separation from God. But here's the good news. God is so loving and so merciful that He gave us a solution for that. He knows that we're going to fall in sin. This is human nature. We need to go to confession. He's there waiting for us, waiting in the confessional for us, in order to restore us back to His grace and to wipe that slate clean. In the beginning, we spoke about sin feeling like freedom to do what we want when we want, but that's false freedom that actually enslaves us and possibly leads us to eternal damnation. When we follow Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life, and we try to stay away from sin and take advantage of confession, then we're free. Jesus Himself reminds us in Matthew 25, therefore, stay awake, for you know neither the day nor the hour. So, the question that I ask you is, what state is your soul in now? If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.